There are 3 steps that all public service workers with federal student loans should take to make sure they benefit from the PSLF waiver. The first is confirming whether your past and present employers are qualified public service employers for the purpose of PSLF. Because this is the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, all public service workers who want to benefit from the PSLF waiver should confirm which of their employers since October 1st, 2007 will qualify them. This requirement hasn't changed under the waiver, except that now you may qualify for periods of time that were previously ineligible due to your loan type or payment status, so long as your employer at the time was a qualifying public service employer. Those employers include any government employer, federal, state, local, and tribal, and any nonprofits that have a 501c3 tax-exempt status. Certain other nonprofit employers also qualify. However, unions and political organizations do not, nor do any for-profit employers. If you aren't sure whether your employer qualifies as a public service employer for PSLF, the Department of Education maintains a list of qualifying public service employers that you can search. It's important to note, though, that the list is not necessarily exhaustive. So if your employer does not appear, but you still believe that they are a qualifying public service employer, you can still proceed with the PSLF process. Let's walk through how to search the department's employer database. First, go online and navigate to studentaid.gov. This is the department's main website for federal student loans and is your portal to access information about all of your federal student loans. You'll be prompted to sign in using your FSA ID. If you don't have an FSA ID, you should make one. Your FSA ID is the key to accessing all of your information about your federal student loans. Once logged in, on the top menu under Manage Loans, you can select Public Service Loan Forgiveness from the drop-down menu. On the PSLF page, you'll see a link to access the PSLF Help tool, identified here in red, which you should click. Once you start the tool, you'll be prompted at the bottom to Continue, which will bring you to the page you see now, to add your present and past employers. You can look up all of your employers since October of 2007 by entering their tax employer identification number, or EIN, and your dates of employment. You can check your employer's EIN number by looking at your W-2, by asking your employer, or for larger employers, by Googling them. Once you search, the Help tool will pull up results and you can select your employer from the list that you see. On the screen, you'll see the results for a search of New York State's government EIN. To the right, in green and circled in red, New York State shows up as eligible. This is because it is a government employer. Other qualifying employers will also show up as eligible. Certain ineligible employers will show up in red as ineligible. And if your employer does not show up, it is likely because no one from your employer has applied to PSLF, and so the department has not made a determination on their eligibility. In that case, if you believe your employer meets the requirements for eligibility, you should still proceed. After confirming your employer's qualifying status, you should confirm what type of federal loans you have.